All right, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the BTSL. Having a bit of a scuffed morning, so a bit disheveled. I'll explain the details of that here shortly. But yeah, joined by Wardy today, and we'll be getting into best of threes. A lot of best of threes, with some pretty good players too. That being said, one player is not who we thought it would be, as Lambo has no-showed today. Another great turnout from the Project Unity house. Thank you for your participation, Lambo. He's officially been given 2 strikes as punishment for his last-minute no-show for today, meaning that after this debacle of the 10% prize money reduction, he's still going to end up having a 10% prize money reduction. Rub my temples. Right. However,
because we got some good games though.
Right, so we still have a lot of players. We were able to grab Bly. So the justification for grabbing Bly, so everyone's aware, is Bly is the guy who did lose to Lambo for the qualifying spot in the qualifiers, and he's also a Zerg, so it fits pretty nice. So Bly will be playing against Sol. This also makes things a little bit easier because we're going to have some possible server drama with Lambo having been in Korea. We had actually talked to some of the players. I won't say who, but one was really particularly upset about having to possibly even play off server. So this should solve everyone's issues for the day, hopefully, at least in terms of the tournament. But sorry, I woke up to a message saying I'm no showing. So I've been running around. I'm still like a little bit out of breath because I've literally been running around trying to get ready. Plus somehow coordinate this last second fix up. But thank God Bly's the guy who's usually pretty available a lot of the time. At any rate, frustrations and disheveledness aside, we also have our amateur tournament. I didn't reset the bits from last stream either. Let me do that.
I was about to tell you that.
But yeah, we also have our amateur tournament starting up today again. If you fall into the category of platinum or below, this week will be on the European server. We invite you, of course, to come out and play. And the grand finals will be cast here live by myself and Wardy on BaseTradeTV. And like I said, that'll be happening about an hour from now. So if you're really confused or you've heard platinum and below and your ears perked up because you've never participated before, you can type !noob as in NOOB into the chat, and it'll give you all the info you need to sign up and play, which we highly encourage you to do, because if you win, you will win an hour of coaching with the player of your choice, and second place will get co-op code. Although I'm poking to see if we can maybe swap that out to like a Nation Wars bundle or something cool, just since that's trending at the moment.
Yeah, Nation Wars this weekend. It's coming around fast. It's coming around quickly. All right, but are we ready to get started?
We are.
Have you seen that sub names like bold in chat now? It's crazy.
No, I haven't. Give me a sec here. I'm still playing catch up to get ready. We're in the lobby. We'll get going here in just a sec, guys. It's TLO and DnS to start the day, which is awesome. But I didn't even put live in the title of the stream, for example. That's how all over the place I am now. Hey, it's really stressful when your life revolves around other people, and
they don't show.
But then, of course, I sleep in one day, and Reddit throws a shit fit. Okay. I think I'm finally good. Took a lot of moving things around, shuffling things, updating, deep breaths. We're all good to go. So let's get started on Neon Violet Square. As soon as the players give us the go-ahead, I guess, Wardy? Because you're the lobby hoster.
In a few seconds. I think they're ready, though. Because they were ready before. So unless they suddenly decide to, to go and do stuff, then. But they might have done, because TLO's now not playing.
We'll do some sub shouts in just a sec, guys. But there's TLO. Let's get started. Let's just get into the game, and we'll see you on the map. Oh, I almost left us muted. Not today, StarCraft. All right, Black Blip aside, folks, real look, I guess it's the last second, but I always say this, so it's not much different than normal, but do please, pretty please let me know if you hear any audio problems with the stream. I'm too quiet, Wardy's too loud, vice versa. That way you can ensure that you get the best experience from this cast. Thank you in advance. However, to kick things off, spawning here to the lower right. He's actually probably my favorite to get out of the group in first place. It's the blue Protoss DnS.
And of course, in the upper left-hand corner, we love him. Everyone loves him. It's TLO.
So DnS is, just as an FYI, as all three-letter acronyms, was of course our most recent Ting champion, even defeating Neeb in quite good fashion. And I feel like every time I've seen him since, he has not really degraded down his skill. He's always bringing the best games. He's looking like the best Protoss player in Europe, period. I really like DnS.
Yeah. DnS has been killing it lately. I think every now and then he sort of shows up, and he's the player that's really good but can lose. But when you watch him play, you're like, wow, how does he lose sometimes? Because he really is just on that sort of level where he just shows great games, and he has this really nice macro style as well. So it's really sort of, he focuses on playing the long games too. You don't see him kind of like throwing down 8 gateways a lot of the time, So it's always a fun player to watch. He's actually probably been my most my favorite player to watch over the last kind of couple of weeks, I think, qualifiers or WCS and other bits and pieces. So
yeah, I'm
excited to see what he does today.
I would certainly align my opinion to agree with yours if it wasn't already there. But so the question is, I think we know DnS is gonna be the favored. Can TLO measure up to him? And I think we've seen some really cool, obviously creative, #creative things from TLO, right? But one thing is, his PvZ has been, I feel, all over the place. I've seen him play some games where I'm like, damn, TLO's good at StarCraft. And then I've seen him play games that are like, really? He lost to that?
Yeah. TLO's like a hit and miss lately as well, isn't he? Because, he goes into Nation Wars, he takes down Cyril or something, and then you watch him in WCS qualifiers, and it's like, you can't even find him like in any part of the bracket because he dropped out so early on or so. It just seems like some days he has absolute brilliant moments, and the other days something's just missing a little bit. So I really think he can put up a fight against DnS, but it really depends which sort of TLO shows up. Like, is it going to be the TLO that can take down Cyril, or is it going to be the TLO that sort of just flops out, maybe takes the map of something fun, but then struggles to follow up in the more standard games?
Well, at least on the Korean side of the bracket, we've seen some really cool developments with players like Impact, showing us some really cool upsetting matches, and maybe TLO could do the same. But I think I'm still going to lean towards DnS for first place in the group. And then the big question really is who comes second out of the remaining players. And even with Lambo having been replaced, I think TLO, Bly, and Soul all measure, maybe Soul slightly above, but like mostly measure out to be the same to me. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think Soul in terms of matchup has got a very good chance of going out in second place, because I think for him TvZ is probably his better matchup at the moment. So I think this kind of bodes very well for him getting out in second place, especially because he plays a Zerg first. So, if he can win that matchup, he's already just got one more to go, and even gets maybe a crack at DnS in the winners match. So yeah, I think for me, DnS Soul getting out, but obviously upsets can happen and things can go, awry. So.
Well, this game has not really done too crazy of things, but we do have a slightly different play with Resonating Glaives. This is not actually that crazy, because we start to see the Koreans even dance back towards this, because it's been charge lots, and more charge lots, right? But with Resonating Glaives, you can either do a really crazy 2-base all-in, which is my favorite thing to watch, frankly, but without a robo, I don't know if that's really on the cards here for DnS. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, Glaives is like a nice way to change things up, so it's interesting to see him changing it already on Neon Violet Square as well, which is this map where you don't really need to get Adepts out to kind of hold a third base or anything along those lines. You can go up to 3 bases quite easily. It's a large map, so even pushing across the map with Adepts isn't super effective all the time, but maybe that's kind of the plan, right? Maybe it isn't what TLO really expects here, although as time passes by, TLO will probably notice the lack of an Oracle. And that's probably going to be something which tells him, like, oh, well, if you didn't build an Oracle, where's that gas gone?
No, that's actually a really great point, because it is so common, either 1 or 2 Oracles, usually 2 nowadays, with Phoenix. But it was just the Phoenix. And now the Adepts have been kind of shown in large numbers. Resonating Glaive's not done yet, but, I mean, this is still something he can't undervalue for the attack. And while Roaches are being made, and technically won't take bonus damage from the Adepts, there's just still so many that the Roaches will get targeted down quickly with those really fast attacks now that Resonating Glaives is done.
Well, let's see what DnS can do as he approaches. I kind of feel like he should maybe just look towards backing away, actually. He's taking the third Nexus in the kind of bottom right corner. TLO can't really find out what's going on. I feel like this is okay for now, but once the roaches start showing up, I think he really doesn't actually want to fight this too heavily with the Adepts, because it feels like there was a lot of roaches in production, but it takes a little while for TLO to get them here. Does finally start pushing it back. The DNS adding extra gateways and Immortal. Is he really going to show through?
I was going to say, it's a little bit risky to do, but you know what? Roaches are slow, so even if you get caught... Oh, that's bloody clever. I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot.
I was going to say, like, the most important reason for him to keep his Adepts alive is because if you look at what he's building, he's going into a big follow-up attack. He's not building probes. He's building gateways, Immortals, sentries. He's getting ready to attack again. So if you lose all those Adepts, suddenly your follow-up attack's so much weaker. Yeah. So this was like the best of both worlds. He got extra damage done, and he has the power of the attack still.
What's really beautiful about this is, like, okay, yeah, we've seen the Adepts die, the counterattack's too strong, the end GG, but yeah, he saves the Adepts, so it's a little bit of extra fodder, it's a little bit of extra DPS, so now it's not just an Immortal and a couple of tickling sentries. He in fact catches the roaches, he keeps the precious fragile units behind the high ground gas, so those roaches couldn't even target fire a sentry if they wanted to. That was brilliant out of DNS.
Yeah, this is really nice, and DNS coming across the map here. I mean, TLO, he's getting a Baneling Nest on the way up, but against force fields, slow Banelings are not going to be the best kind of answer here. The Roach is going to get torn apart by Immortals, and obviously there's the Adept Warpins to back it up as well, so moving over, I think DNS is going to be in a bit of a good spot, and I'm not really sure what TLO is going to do about it.
He's going to feel some burn, that's for sure. I do like that he pulls the drones. He's got another base he can go to, but that low ground base is still a problem, because it's going to be in range of everything here in the third base, so super awkward. Is this where the Roach Warren is? He's not going to actually stall and fight, but if he had to, he still gets really good kills. Instead moves up towards the natural base. Oh god, the force fields on the left side are going to be savage. Even with Ravagers finishing up to break them, this is still just so many extra force fields that will come down to replace them. That's a lot of Adepts, a lot of Stalkers added into the fight too. As the fight continues, the Queens head to that front line. A lot of the sentries starting to go down, a lot of the energy starting to disappear, and TLO's army supply is holding up better than expected.
Yeah, he's really holding this off. The Ravager count, I think, is the surprising factor. The fact he just got a few more, because you're going to see a couple of Adepts on the low ground, that's going to disrupt the drone lines. Now those Ravagers are kind of on their own, and because they have Corrosive Fires, the Warp Prism can't just stop to warp in for a moment. But that Immortal is still alive, chunking away, and eventually will get his way through. He's actually been warping in Stalkers behind us, which is kind of cool. I guess because the Stalkers just work that much better against Ravagers than the Adepts, is my assumption. As you do just see, I mean, that Immortal being kept up like 12 kills on it already. And this is still not to fall apart from TLO, I think, even if it's very slow.
You don't need Blink if you got good Warp Prism Micro. Unfortunately, though, towards the end, he started taking some pretty nasty hits, so he backs away. No longer reach to save the Immortal. That kind of sucks, but he gets another full Warp in because of this, which might be a little more worthwhile. He continues to press the attack as well. Drone's getting pulled into the fight this time, not away, because TLO's on the ropes here. If he loses this fight, it's probably going to be game, because he doesn't have enough money to keep this production up for much longer. DnS, however, has got enough money for another big Warp in, which is in fact happening, but Crucifix going to land. Cancel the Warp ins. He does deny it. Is that even enough, though?
I think it's enough to clean this up, but has he already taken way too much damage? Yeah, because if the Warp Prism starts, yeah, I think you're about to say 25 drones.
Yeah, there's almost nothing left for TLO. I mean, he's going back to droning, but while he drones, I don't want to be another drone missing. What is this cheeky little guy?
This drone heard that it was safe in the bottom right corner of Neon Violet.
There's the GG. The GG scout. That's equivalent to the Terran GG scan.
Yeah. When the drone comes across the map and sees you have a third base saturated, it's like, okay, GG. Good guy, drone. Saves us a few moments at the end.
Well, folks, that's a good start to the series for DNS, but we got a couple games to go through. I'm hearing what you guys are saying, though, by chat, saying Wardy sounds a little muffled. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that, to be honest.
Did it get any better? Because I tried to lower my gain a little bit. Yeah.
No, it's not an audio like volume thing. You just sound muffled, like you've got a sock over your mic opposed to a fuzzy thing. I don't know.
It's definitely a fuzzy thing. I promise you.
Well, we'll fiddle, but chances are that's not something that's gonna get fixed this cast, guys. And I'm super duper sorry about it. But Wardy was tweeting. I guess you're looking into a new mic. Did you end up landing on anything?
Well, I kind of want like a new headset mic, but I don't know what to buy. And like, I don't know. It's kind of weird because my mic works completely fine with everyone else. It's so strange. I swear it's me and you that have this issue, and no one else.
Well, if I'm going to be brutally honest with you, Wardy, you don't exactly have top-notch quality on your own stream either.
Well, yeah, it's not amazing, but It's good. It's gone better.
I'm telling you, man, lavalier mic. If you're really this adamant about being able to move freely and talk, a lav mic is great. A lav mic is good.
Maybe.
In fact, I will tell you right now, if I didn't already had invested in a studio mic, I would have a lav mic.
I'm gonna look into it.
All right. Well, anyways, guys, not a lot we can do right here now. Hopefully things are gonna be okay. If it's really, really bad, let us know. I mean, we can take a break and try and readjust, but I mean, I can hear them fine, but I can see what you guys are saying. That being said, Blackpink's the map. As soon as players are good to go, let's hop into it. There we go. See you guys here for map number 2. Thank you, Aaron, for that sub coming in. Of course, we got a lot of other subs to shout out, which we'll do in just a sec, guys. But let's get these intros rocking and rolling first. Spawning here to the lower left side, he's on game number 2, down a life. It's the Red Zerg TLO.
The upper right-hand side, our Blue Protoss player per game is DnS.
All right, well, just now, Mailing DF is taking advantage of that. What? Is that a deal available to Twitch Prime users? Because I think it certainly is. I know it's super shilling, but I want your bits. Guys, there's a deal going on right now. You can get 500 bits for 99 cents if you're a Twitch Prime user. Normally that would cost you between $6 or $7 depending on your currency. And it gives you a chance to support your streamer for basically a little bit more than you would normally be able to do. It's really cool, it's really awesome, and I love when people cheer bits, especially here on the channel. So thank you, Mailing DF, for the 500 bits. Admiral Awesome comes rocking in with a 47-month resub. Thank you for the long-time support, brother. Black Spade Camo also comes in with 500 bits. Ooh, what a coincidence. What's better than a BTTV cast? A BTTV cast with Wardy. Then Philippe2610 hit us up brand new with a Prime sub. Thank you for that. Len Taro was also a brand new Prime sub user. Salutes to you, sir. And Zero Grad resubbed for 7 months. And Thomas 2K, I think, wraps it up here with a 38-month resub. If we missed anybody, super sorry. Not on purpose. It's just not shown on my list.
That's quite the list.
What is this? A list of very beautiful, handsome, in fact, handsomer than the average person people.
That's what being a BaseTradeTV sub is, G.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
You know, you know what the only thing that makes your name look better is? Your name with Partooth in front of it.
The only thing that looks better than your name with a Partooth in front of it is if you're in chat with a Partooth in front of your name and you type a Wardy Kapopa Papa. Or however the fuck it's spelled.
Kapopa. It's like Kappa with an extra O.
Actually, Maynard nailed that during a cast. Gosh, I can't remember what it was, like one of the Korean groups, I think. And he just types Wardy Kapopa in chat, like 10 out of 10, man. You got the best support on Twitch.
It's a great emote. I really okay. Yeah, I need the person who made it to make me like 5 for it. It'd be great.
My commission services are $700 an hour. If you'd like, I can get started right away.
That's okay, because it's what took you about 10 seconds.
Yeah. All right, TLO didn't get a great game 1, and that's really unfortunate. Part of that could be attributed to some of the scouting, but also just the strangeness that really is a resonating glaive attack. I think scouting obviously a little bit more important though when you got a guy like TLO who knows how to read this game inside and freaking out. So maybe this Overlord lives, it doesn't get picked off, as it is, of course, an Oracle coming out, not a Phoenix. We'll see if that ends up happening or not. I doubt DnS would... He's the furthest thing from a one-trick pony. The guy is actually so good at StarCraft. I know he's got lots of builds. I would be shocked if it was Resonating Glaives again, but with how well it worked, you kind of almost got to ask why not.
Yeah, I mean, it can... I guess that's the thing, though. Like, why not? But then maybe if TLO is just a bit more aware of it, then maybe it loses its power a little bit, which I think nowadays you can definitely argue as a factor with Resonating Glaives, because it isn't something you expect every game, and when you do expect it every game, you really can prepare that much better. You can have a couple of units out just that little bit sooner. As you see the Oracle coming across. I
feel like the problem with Resonating Glaives and why it's not so popular is it just doesn't transition as well if it doesn't work. which is what turns it into the all-in. And some players love all-ins. DnS, though, as I said, he's not a player who relies on them, so I can understand swapping things up. But either way, Robo comes down first as the priority with the Twilight follow-up. We'll see what he goes for here. This looks and smells a lot more normal, though, especially with the Oracle, so it's probably charge if I had a blind guess. But I'd be very excited to see Resonating Glaives again, because things like recalling the Adepts from the mineral line, just absolutely wonderful.
That was like the play, which was like he just got every single bit of value out of those attempts, right? Like he kills the 7 extra workers. That may have made the difference between TLO holding on, because that fight got really close towards the end, right? If he has 7 more drones for like the extra minute where DNS is walking across the map to make the attack, it could make all the difference. Maybe making a couple extra units instead of redroning. Who knows? Who knows? But the War Prism's coming up, the Templar Archive's coming down, and I think, yeah, you're right. It's going to be charged in the near future as well. Just prioritizing getting the Archon drop going initially, and then go and get the Zealot back up in the near future.
Well, a big cheers right back at you, Broga. Thank you for the 500 bits. And Mr. Boris, so you can't share his sub in chat. Yeah, this is something apparently happening to a couple people. I know Joey was in here before the stream got started. He was a little miffed about it. But I guess when they made it so you could bold the sub names, they made it so you couldn't share them at the same time. I don't know. I actually, I like the second Spore Crawler for a couple of different reasons. One being the classic protect your mineral line, but second, having one that can maneuver around and help possibly catch this Warp Prism. Because all Queens are going to be busy getting killed by the Archons below it.
Yeah, the extra Spore actually will go a long way to just pushing that Prism back, stop it from getting into certain locations.
This is...
Nice.
This
Maybe
actually
that's towards the main base, that is. I mean, right now it's towards the 4th, so...
I mean, I really like the creep spread, giving him not just the mobility, but most notably the vision to see where this Warp Prism is going, where it's going to be attacking next. So this is really good out of TLO. In fact, this almost looks like TvZ creep spread, not PvZ creep spread.
Yeah, I mean, it's so far forwards, right? But I guess not for so long, because we're going to be seeing DNS starting to clean it up, starting to push it back a little bit.
This is
sad for TLO.
This is not for naught, though. This isn't nothing, because if the Queens have to replace the tumors, then they're not transfusing, all of which they need so desperately badly to fend off this attack, as the Archons start frying them up real good. But so far, so good. He's minimized the damage. He hasn't taken any drone losses. I think the big thing is he hasn't taken a lot of army losses either, so he's transitioning into Hydras with relative ease. It does totally suck losing a Queen in any capacity here, though.
I mean, it's the sort of losses that you shouldn't be having. Like, there's no reason for the Queen to be that far forwards when you don't know where the Archon drop is. Like, I know he wants to replace the creep, but it's just a risk that he's trying to take. You know, he's trying to like, gamble on the Archon's no longer being there. And obviously, the more gambles like that you lose, the more damage you've taken, and the more powerful the follow-up of DNS is, which now, I mean, he's got charge coming up. There's a mortal count has been producing this over time. He's got +1.
You know, though, Wardy, this charge is going to be interesting, because TLO is going to have not just Banelings, which we've seen commonly used, but Baneling's speed at a pretty early timing. I think I've witnessed more than my fair share of games where, and not my fair share, but watching these pros play, where like it's slow Banelings for the first attack wave, and there's also just split or the Adept split or whatever. I like having the speed available for this.
It's true.
Or what
really nice.
Should be speed available for this.
Yeah. See Storm on the way from DNS. This is like the go-to like PvZ nowadays. You get the Immortals after a couple of Archons. You slowly take the time to feel safe enough to get Storm. And the way DNS likes to play is that he'll try and take a couple of good fights. And when he feels like he's taking a good fight, instead of trying to press that onwards and maybe throwing away his advantage, he actually likes to just sit back, add Stargates, and just go in towards like the carrier production. So we could be in for a bit of a long one here with the way that DNS is setting up and the way that TLO isn't looking to be overly aggressive himself. He's just sat back and 70 drones, 4 bases.
I think what really is going to indicate whether it's a long one or not, though, is like, okay, sure, that's the preference of DNS, but it's also how well does TLO handle things. For example, oh man, if he catches this Warp Prism, then he's got no problems. But if DNS gets to freely harass the main, then it's big problems. So he starts moving northwards with a large portion of his army. Hydra's speed will be kicking in just a second. In fact, almost timed out exactly with Storm. That's eerie. But with no shield batteries up yet, this base doesn't look super easy to defend. He'll have to get some good Storms. The Banelings will have to not connect to anything, really. Like, this is going to be tough. If he wipes out the Zealots, the Roaches and Hydras have a ton of power here.
Well, that's where the Nitro comes into play. You have to keep those Zealots back, or at least use them very sparingly. Great Storm on the first Banelings, and then only a couple of Zealots going down. And look at that, there's more Zealots to kind of back this up with Immortals and Archons. Obviously, this is going to be powerful. He even has a couple of Storms left over.
Ooh, he's getting boxed in. but the reinforcements are darting forward. That's a lot of Zerglings, even with Storms and Archons. That's still a lot of links to get to chew through. Immortal on the south side going to get picked off. Hydra's trying to stay alive a little bit for the DPS. Link's going to buffer for that, but he's got to back away, and unfortunately, TLO cannot press the issue. While this goes on, he gets hit by some Zealots to the south. Drone's taking some pretty nasty damage, and of course, this is all courtesy of the Warp Prism.
Those High Templar were kind of like on the low ground for a little while, not really taking part when there was extra storms available. DNS made a couple of mistakes, a couple of units out of position. TLO definitely capitalized on it, but by far and away, DNS just straight up won that fight with ease, and so we're looking at this position where TLO is going to be playing from a little bit behind, and DNS, that fight went so well, he might just try and do something with this +2 attack finishing up. You know, he's already got the Warp Prism on the other side of the map to reinforce, or to pull units in towards the main base, perhaps. He finds himself another couple of Zerglings here. All he's really missing is the energy on the High Temple to get another round of Storms.
I'm so jaded about these mutas. I think there's some potential cool factor with them, but with the amount of Archons, he's never going to be able to take the army head on. So as he goes around the army, ideally, right, heads to the sides of the map, maybe picks off some probes, but frankly, I don't know that these mutas have the power to draw that army home. With as strong as it is, like, TLO's going to have nothing else to play with. All of his investment just went into several mutas and even their +1 weapon upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with me is you want them to cross the map to then force the Protoss to attack. You don't want them to start heading across the map when the Protoss is already attacking. So pushing forwards here, DNS, I mean, Zealots, Archons, Immortals, there's so many of them as they charge on in. Grabs himself a Roach. We are just going to be seeing this army of DNS. Pretty powerful. Plus the Spire without the +1 coming through, so it's another upgrade that's going to come in here.
He was already making a transition out towards Stargates anyways, but that works out even better for him, of course, with nothing to contest it. This is DNS looking as powerful as DNS does.
I think this is what we kind of expect from DNS, especially I think against TLO. I think this was DNS with a good matchup coming against TLO, who hasn't had the better CVP lately, and you can kind of see it here. You know, he didn't really do anything wrong per se. It's just DNS was that much better. You know, and DNS has this matchup so figured out. He has the engagements that well, kind of. You know, he can lay them down so easily. So,
well, that's my favorite kind of StarCraft game, though, right? A lot of the times we talk about looking for mistakes from the players, but I think you phrased it really well. It's not that TLO necessarily did a lot of things wrong. It's like DNS just actually played better in many different aspects.
Yeah, I really think he did. Like, you know, PvZ right now is so executionally focused that if you mess up the fight, it's not going to go well for you. And that's exactly what we kind of just saw, that TLO messing up a couple of fights.
Where is Soul?
Where is Soul? Good question, Rifkin. Rifkin's going to hunt down Soul, guys. Meanwhile, we have more people taking advantage of bit deals in the chat, because if you're a Twitch Prime user, you can spend $1 and donate 5. It's like a money tree. It's amazing. And Soby Toby. I don't know whether it's going to be like. I hate. You know, I really do feel like this. Like, I feel like the more time I spend on Twitch, the less I can say Twitch chat names.
The more time you spend on Twitch, the more brain cells you lose. Yeah, that checks out.
It seems like something like that, though. Thank you so much for the 500 bits, and I'm sure there's some other things I've gone on, but I don't have the dashboard to actually shout out. So I'm just shouting out what's going on right now while Rifkin goes hunting down Soul.
Alright, see you guys here in a couple minutes. We're gonna go to Az while I hunt this guy down, so be back soon. Hopefully the next series ready to go.